I'm Matthew Salter, Head of Professional Services at Brennan IT. Professional services being any temporary engagement that might be standalone or necessary to get a customer into our ongoing support. And that can be anything from IT infrastructure right through to apps, networking, voice and data. The top three I would say would be to be meticulous, coordinated, and have excellent communication. Beyond that, I would say an ability to fill in the grey, because there can always be a set plan or budget or a schedule, but it's really the unexpected quirks or dependencies that pop up that can derail the project. And it's how you deal with those up front and mitigate them that's really going to keep everybody focused on the end outcome. We do have a few. It would really depend on the project and even the customer's preference. So, for example, if we were scoping as we went, then we'd suggest an agile methodology where you deliver in sprints. Most of the time in Brennan, we probably use a Prince 2 framework where we can outsource the outcome to a project manager, and they involve the relevant stakeholders only if they need to, if there's an exception to the set tolerances. No, but my family did, and they still do today actually. So long story short, my full surname is Salter Townsend, and it's a beautiful village in the south of Ireland called Castle Townsend. And every generation of my family on my father's side have lived there since 1645 in the village and in the castle. And they actually run it as a bed and breakfast today, and I highly recommend anybody staying there when it's safe to travel. It can be challenging. You've obviously got lots of different personalities to deal with, so it's something you want to keep an eye on up front. There is things you can do, such as set the responsibilities clearly and early, for example via a RACI matrix, but also continuously revisiting why you're doing the project in the first place is very important. That keeps everybody super aligned, and it really mitigates any issues or even friction points up front. Since COVID, there are some businesses and industries that unfortunately have been hit very hard, but we've seen a big increase in projects, certainly digitalization initiatives. So that's things like mobile device management via Intune, and collaboration tools and document management systems like SharePoint and Microsoft Teams, and certainly Microsoft Teams calling, where you can greatly reduce your telephony costs by making cloud for hosted PBX phone calls. There's lots of stats out there around failed projects. For example, 70% of change projects fail. And I can only really believe that when I consider how many companies might try something first without really understanding the risks or even the technology involved. So I would say the benefit should be that you can outsource the outcome to a provider. And that way you can focus on what you know best, which is your business. So any provider worth their salt should have decades or years of experience delivering those project types to the agreed requirements that you've outlined to them. I was an extra in movies in my early 20s, which required zero talent. No disrespect to any extras who are out there, but I did get to work on movies like Wolverine with Hugh Jackman, Nim's Island with Jodie Foster, a series called The Pacific. And when I say worked on, I meant I was doing random things in the background, like marching around or drinking a beer. I would say, first and foremost, do your due diligence up front to understand what you're getting into. For example, look at the complexities, the dependencies, and the risks. And if you do decide to outsource, then I would say look for the sweet spot. So that should be a provider that has enterprise level maturity, but also with the proven agility of a smaller, hungrier player. Beyond that, I'd say maybe look for a trusted provider that can give you many services rather than many different providers, because redundancy is one thing, but you can really achieve a lot of efficiencies and certainly stability when you have one trusted provider.